two things that are hard in Salesforce, right? And one is passing that first admin cert. That thing's a beast. Anyone who's taken them knows pretty much all the certs are a beast. But there's a second thing that's hard, and that's actually breaking into the ecosystem itself. And there's really two ways to do that. And certs kind of help you stand out among your peers, especially with consultants where certs are worth points in the partner program. So if you're going to get a consultant job, having those certs, and certain certs like consultant certs are worth more points. And so that's how you kind of stand out. So if you don't have experience, the way to get into the ecosystem is to really smash through certs and get a bunch of them. There is a vast difference between certs and experience, and I think someone just pointed that out. But until you have a way to get into the ecosystem and get a job, there is no way to get that experience. Certs are the way and a viable path to do that. And it also shows to an employer that you have the gumption to crush through those things, because they are not easy to do, and they take some pain. So, it's a great way to make yourself stand out. And, just one person's opinion on certs. I've got a couple of them now, and, Dave has a ton of them. There's a bunch of people on here who do, but I think that's a common thought on it with certs versus experience. Until you get the experience, you need to get the certs to get in the door.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with anything you said, David. In fact, I'll foot stomp it. Right or wrong, the more certs you have, you're going to get more looks from recruiters. And we could talk about, is that the best thing? Is it not the best thing? It's just a fact. And that was one of the ways that I differentiated myself early, was to get as many certs as I can. From David's point, if you're interested in consulting, obviously admin is the gateway cert, and then you go for the sales cloud, the service cloud, right, the experience cloud, those core consultant certs. We've got a ton of hands raised, but I see David's raised, so he gets to jump in line because he's the co-host. So David, comment?
Yeah, I'll try to make it quick. One thing that John, you said that you're looking to be a project manager or a program manager. And what I would say is, depending on what you want to do, if you want to be at Salesforce certs are amazing, and you should continue to get them. They're free for all veterans. I want to make sure everyone on this call knows that if you're a veteran or a military spouse, you can go on salesforcemilitary.com, sign up for any of our certifications, and begin your journey as a Trailblazer, and you should do that. With that said, as a senior recruiter, when I was working for the 7 months prior to the last 3 months, there was actually something on LinkedIn that I would use to search people. And one of them was if you had a Salesforce certification. So that was very important, because if you showed up on my LinkedIn, you had a Salesforce cert, and let's just say you had 20 years military experience in a Salesforce cert. Obviously, I have a little bit of I would look at you a little bit closer than maybe other recruiters would, but I would know that your experience plus your cert, like, you're going to be a very, a high candidate for certain positions, for instance, like customer success. And that was one where you really do need that Salesforce cert to really come out the gate and have a recruiter want to call you. I mean, it's not required, but it's definitely something to look at. Now, really fast, last thing I'll say about all this: if you are not interested in a technical position and you were looking at, let's say, sales or ES, or HR is what I mean, or recruiting, you don't need a certification, but I would definitely say getting familiar with one and starting it is great. But it's more about branding yourself and connecting with those other veterans and people at Salesforce and getting the information to do that job.